Good evening. It's Tuesday, January 20th at 6:30 p.m. This is the City of Franklin Common Council meeting. Madam Clerk, will you please take the roll?
Mayor Nelson.
Here.
Alderman Pecorelli.
Here.
Alderwoman Eichman.
Here.
Alderman Assam.
Here.
Alderwoman Day.
Here.
Alderman Salus.
Here.
Alderman Craig.
Here. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moving on to citizen comment period, I'll read this in its entirety. City of Franklin meeting rules of decorum for attendees and participants. For those attending City of Franklin meetings, number one, respectful and orderly conduct is expected at all times. Number two, disruptive or unruly behavior, including but not limited to clapping, verbal disruptions, signs, and outbursts will not be tolerated. Going into for those wishing to speak during City of Franklin meetings, number one, approach the microphone when the chair opens the floor for citizen comments. Number two, state your name and address for the record. Number three, address your comments to the Common Council, Board, Commission, or Committee only. Limit your comments to 3 minutes or less. I'll be the timekeeper. Number five, no endorsements or electioneering are allowed. Now we're in high election season, so if you are looking to speak and you do approach the podium, you must state your name and that you are a candidate for whatever position that you're running for. Speaker shall refrain from presenting unduly repetitious, offensive, threatening, slanderous, defamatory, or obscene remarks. Persons wishing to speak as a spokesperson on behalf of a neighborhood, subdivision, homeowners, condominium, or business association, or similar group with common interests shall demonstrate their qualifications to do so according to City of Franklin Resolution Number 2007-6227 before speaking on that body's behalf. Questions may be answered immediately by the chair or referred to city staff for future reply in a timely manner. Those that are adhering to these rules of decorum for attendees and participants will be asked to leave or be removed if necessary. We've never had to do that. Now, this is the Chapter 9 Council Proceedings, which discuss citizen comment period 19-2. During the citizen comment period, no person shall speak for longer than 3 minutes at each council meeting unless the city council shall direct otherwise to an individual city council. Direction may take the form of unanimous consent. Both of these documents are laminated and they are at the front at the podium. Okay, we're going to open it right now. Anybody wishing to speak, come to the podium, state your name.
Mary Remington, 7600 South Chapel Hill Drive.
Good evening, Mary.
Hello. I'm here on behalf of the Park Commission. We have on your agenda tonight, number 12, we're proposing that you name the park in Mission Hills after Tony Magna. Tony Magna retired about 5 years ago. Prior to that, he spent 57 years on boards and commissions in the city of Franklin. He was on the Park Commission for 32 years. He was also on the Plan Commission, the 4th of July Commission, the Zoning Board. There's other things that I'm not remembering, I'm sure. So please approve when you get to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Remington. Good evening.
Good evening. Denise Groniger, 8203 South 47th Street. I am running for a seat on the school board. I respectfully ask the Common Council to put a resolution on the next agenda vacating Highview as per state statute 66.1003 4A. On January 12th, I personally submitted a petition signed by over 95 residents who are directly affected to the city clerk. I asked the city clerk at that time to date stamp our petition, provide a copy to our aldermen, and put our petition on the agenda for the next Common Council meeting. This is the next Common Council meeting. Why are we not on the agenda? We deserve to be heard, and I ask you all to please take action. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll get an answer for you why not, okay? It's either you or Shirley.
Good evening. I am Kay Simonson, and I am speaking on behalf of
Jean and Mark Stefanis, who live at 8189 South 47th Street, who could not be here this evening. We respectfully ask the Common Council to put a resolution on the next agenda vacating Highview. Highview is adjacent to the north side of our property. We have gotten the runaround about what is going to be done with this road, just like how there was to be a 30-foot buffer left of the woods behind the homes, and our home was left with nothing. Please take into consideration how important this is to the neighbors that live on 47th Street and the terrible impact it will have on them. And representing myself, I am Kay Simonson, 82 South 47th Street. I also respectfully ask the Common Council to put a resolution on the next agenda vacating Highview as per state statutes 66.1003-4A. A petition signed by over 95 residents directly affected by this was submitted to the city, and I was one of the ones that obtained those signatures on the petition. And I hope that you will really address this. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening.
Hi, I'm Rob Trindad, 7299 Hillendale Drive. I just want to say that one thing that I've learned personally from my own study, apparently even nature observes the Sabbath day. I'm not Jewish. I wasn't raised observing the Sabbath day, as explained biblically. But even nature observes the Sabbath day. And not only does it observe the Sabbath day on Saturday, it observes it from Friday evening to Saturday evening, as biblically explained. This isn't something that I was accustomed to. It wasn't like, my past, but I just wanted to recommend that just for maybe even your own personal use or even for city business in relation to things like, farmers markets, that kind of thing. Like for, maybe like a Saturday, like a Sunday farmers market instead of a Saturday farmers market, if at all possible. Whether it be just, your own personal investigation, or for city use, it might just be worth looking into. That's something that I did, and I just want to recommend it. I appreciate your guys' work. There's a lot that you guys go through. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that you guys have to work through, a lot of complaints, a lot of things like that. Yeah, thanks for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Nicole Schlacks, 8213 South 47th Street. Good evening, members of the Common Council. I would like to respectfully address our neighborhood petition to vacate Highview Drive, which was formally filed on January 12th and signed by the residents of the neighborhood. Although this petition was not placed on tonight's agenda, I appreciate the opportunity to briefly raise it during this comment period. Based on my understanding of Wisconsin state law, under Wisconsin statutes section 66.1003, the authority to discontinue or vacate a public street rests with the Common Council. A petition from property owners is one way to initiate the process, but the statute does not require unanimous consent from all adjacent property owners, nor does it give any single property owner, including the school, veto power over this decision. The council may act if it determines that vacating a street serves the public interest, provided the proper notice, hearing, and voting requirements are met. Objections may affect the voting threshold, but they do not prevent this body from considering or acting on the petition. This petition was made with the city's best interests in mind. Turning this dead-end residential street into a through street will increase traffic and introduce new safety risks for the families who live here. When Highview Drive was designated as emergency access only, no traffic study was conducted, which made sense under that limited use. However, if the school now intends to open the road for regular staff and/or event traffic, a traffic study should have been completed to evaluate those impacts, but it was not. This lack of analysis is especially concerning given what we already observe in the area. School-related drop-off and pickup traffic routinely occurs unsafely on Forest Hill Avenue. I am concerned that the same pattern would occur on 47th Street and Highview Drive, creating congestion and safety risks in this residential area for my fellow neighbors and for my own family. Highview Drive is a city-owned residential street. This petition reflects a genuine concern for neighborhood safety and long-term planning for Franklin residents. I'm asking that this request be evaluated thoughtfully under the authority that state law places with you. In conclusion, I respectfully ask the Common Council to please place this item on the next meeting agenda allow it to proceed to formal consideration and public hearing, and carefully weigh whether vacating Highview Drive best serves the safety and long-term interests of the city of Franklin and its residents. Thank you for your time and for your continued service to our community.
Thank you.
Good evening, Linda Mathwig, 7321 Brunn Drive. Completely different subject. Growing up, my mother used to say, boldness can look like brilliance until the consequences arrive. In my opinion, the Franklin Common Council has reached that moment. This is regarding agenda item G13, timing matters. The council is being asked to make an agreement for a $25,000 communications contract while a criminal investigation is being conducted involving Mayor Nelson and Mary Christine, the contractor. The current investigation alleges that the City of Franklin funded communications that were used for political campaign activity during an election. To ensure transparency, the District Attorney's Office requests that an outside police department handle this matter. As of today, this investigation is not concluded. Approving this contract sends the wrong message to Franklin residents. It creates the appearance that the council is unwilling to pause and determine whether adequate policies are in place. Communication should be impartial. When there is an awareness of misuse, it can undermine public trust and expose the city to risk. The council has reasonable options. You can delay approval until the investigation is complete, or you can consider other alternatives during this period. Proceeding as if timing does not matter could send the wrong message. Sometimes it's good to bypass being bold and delay when warranted. Tonight presents such a moment. Good governance protects taxpayers and maintains public trust. This should be the guidance of the council's decision on agenda item G13. Thank you.
Amber Anderson, 4629 West Forest Hill Avenue. Good evening. I'm here to speak in support of the petition to vacate Highview Drive and respectfully ask that this item be placed on the agenda for the future meeting so that it can be formally considered. I signed this petition not only as a member, as a neighbor, but as a parent of 2 young children who sees firsthand how school-related traffic already impacts our streets. I live on Forest Hill and routinely observe parents using the road for drop-off and pickup. Cars stop unexpectedly, turn around in driveways, middle of the road, intersections, pull to the sides of the road, create congestion and unsafe conditions on the street during these times of the day. Because of this, I am concerned about what will happen if Highview Drive and 47th Street are opened as another access point to the school. I signed the petition to protect the families who live on those streets because I understand exactly how stressful and unsafe these traffic patterns can become. As a parent and a neighbor, I ask you to please consider the very real day-to-day impact this decision will have on the residential streets and on the children who live and play in this area. Please place this item on the next Common Council meeting agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Basil Ryan, candidate for mayor. I'm just going to say one thing. I wasn't going to speak on anything other than the senior program, but I will say one thing on behalf of these people. Have had any of you sat here and had an individual die in your arms that was hit by a car in front of the high school? I can say I did. So there's concerns are sincere. The problem does exist, and that was on 51st Street. And afterwards, I had to go into the high school and wash the blood from my hands and clothes. That's all I will say.
Anyone wishing else to speak right now? See no one? Close citizen comment period. In response to the request to have this on the next council meeting. I'm instructing the city attorney to work with Madam Clerk to bring this item forward for clarification and discussion. So that's what we'll do, because I know this has been quoted 66.1003. There's a whole other part to this as well. So it's the will of the people, by the people, for the people. So that's what we're going to be doing. And it'll be open for discussion. And that's, if we can get it to the next meeting, we're going to request that. And I'll talk to him offline on that. Mr. City Attorney. Hit your button one more time.
Madam Clerk, have you responded to the person who delivered the?
Yes, I did. I left a message.
Okay, and
And I told her, according to what you had told me, Wisconsin State Statute 66.1003, parens.
Hold on a second. Nobody can hear you. So I'm going to ask you to speak up a little bit because I can see Mark in there. And
Okay. I received this from the city attorney regarding Wisconsin State Statute 66.1003, parens 2. The common council of any city except a first-class city or a village or a town board may discontinue or part of a public way upon the written petition of the owners of all of the frontage of the lots and the lands abutting upon the public way sought to be discontinued. And then there's more that goes on with that statute. So in talking with the city attorney, the school district abuts up to that property, and the school district did not sign the petition. Is that correct, Jesse? Yes.
correct.
So that's why the petition was invalid, so the petition has to be valid first before it can be placed on the common council agenda, so.
And the explanation now is not on the agenda. However, that's what I want to have it come back to the agenda so that can specifically be discussed as far as what is acceptable, what is not acceptable, what is valid and what is not valid, but that's going to be on an agenda, not right now. Okay?
Mr. Mayor, can I make comments?
Yes, Alderman, go ahead.
It's not on the agenda.
Well, hold on, he's going to make a comment on something that
You're
may or may
starting-
not be in the
you can
agenda.
over-discuss things.
I just would like to say that I am as an elder person for the district, and my job is to channel the concerns of my constituents to the council. And I'm just questioning the policy of petitions. Like if the entire city of Franklin sign a petition for something to be placed on the agenda, even if there is holes in that argument, even if there is a concern, even if, this argument has to be made at the council. So we cannot have the city attorney or anyone in the city for this matter to be the gatekeeper, what is allowed to go forward to be presented on the council and what is not. So I do respect the legal opinion presented by the city attorney, but at the same time, I have tremendous amount of respect for the residents, the time they put, the effort during the weather, collecting all these signatures. They deserve at least to have their argument heard. I yield.
So that's why it'll be on next agenda. All right, moving forward. Item C, approval of the minutes, regular common council meeting of January 6th, 2026. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Second.
We have first and second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all is in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. There are no hearings under D as in David. There's no organizational business under E as in Edward. No letters under F as in Frank. Going into G1, we've got a consent agenda for items 1, A Adam, B Boy, and C Charles. Is there a motion for those?
I'll make a motion
to approve all.
First, second?
I-
Sure.
Okay.
First and second. All those in favor on the consent?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Going on to number 2, Mr. Pauls, good evening and welcome. G2, a preliminary resolution declaring intent to exercise special assessment powers granted by Section 207-15 of the Municipal Code and Sections 66.0701 of the state statutes for installation of a water transmission main on South Lovers Lane Road from a point 1,900 feet north of West St. Martin's Road to a point 1,500 feet south of West Drexel Avenue, Contract A, and setting a public hearing date for February 17th, 2026 at 6:30 PM. Mr. City Engineer, good evening, welcome, you got the floor.
Thank you. So there's one correction.
We might have to check his, yeah, I don't hear him.
Thank you.
Try it again, Mike.
Well, I don't have yours on. So I put mine on. Try it.
Good, test?
Yes.
That sounds
Wonderful.
promising. Thank you. Good evening. There's one typo in the action, I guess, with the election. That date would actually be, the public hearing actually be on February 18th, not the 17th.
February 18th for the public hearing.
Correct.
All right.
So just a little history here. Contract A, this is Contract A and C. Those are the two water main extensions, north and south of the new water tower on Lovers Lane. There's a lot of history here that we put together. History of the project going way back in 2022. I'm not going to read everything to you. It'll be here until midnight. But basically, we're trying to do some housekeeping here in engineering, get things cleaned up. I will turn your attention to April 3rd, 2024, item G11, where it was approved to do a public hearing on August 20th, 2024. The public hearing never occurred. Why, I could not tell you, but the water main is complete. And the question in front of the council is, do we move ahead with the preliminary resolution and setting the public hearing date for that water main? And I believe, as far as ARPA funds and my research, ARPA funds were used, I believe, only for the design. Again, going back into records, March 19th, 2024, ARPA funds were used for $18,100 for the design of the water main, but as far as I can tell, not for the construction of the water main itself. With that, I'll entertain any questions.
Alderwoman Eichman.
Thank you. So, Mike, and I apologize, I know we played a little bit of phone tag
Right.
for the meeting. These properties, these aren't the properties that go all the way back to 2022 that were informed they would not be special assessed, such as the Tri-County Baptist Church in that area?
I'm assuming they are. I, again, wasn't here, so I can't vouch for, that's why I gave you the history back to 2022. I was not here, so I don't know the complete history.
The history does mention a meeting that occurred at the Tri-County Baptist Church that was before I was an alder. It's in our packet here dated on October 12th, 2022. All those property owners along that stretch of South 100th Street were told and informed they would never be special assessed. That was a big deal back when the mayor was an alder and I was an alder, and we definitely cannot go back on that. They will be coming out with pitchforks, I can guarantee. They were all told they would never be special assessed.
Perfectly acceptable. I'm just mentioning again, back in April 3rd, 2024, the resolution was passed to special assess, so there's a little discrepancy there as far as what we should do moving forward. On page 65, April 3rd, 2024, item G11, it says, actually contrary to that, about go ahead and go with the special assessments. And it did set a public hearing date of August 20th, 24. Just the public hearing never occurred.
You still have the floor, ma'am.
I'm just trying to take a look at this map to see. So you are talking about the water main that runs in front of the church? Correct.
It is. It's part of the project, correct?
So how can we tell these residents that they're not going to be special assessed? And this was settled quite a while ago. We cannot go back.
I'm not saying we should. I'm just bringing this forward to the council that this is where we're at and let you make the decision what to do moving forward.
So if I'm understanding the motion correctly, to exercise special assessment powers granted by section 207-15 of the municipal code, in section 66.0701 of the state statutes for installation of water transmission main on South Lovers Lane Road. Maybe I need more clarification on this. I mean, we're looking to now special assess those property owners, is that?
Or not. You could reject this, and then it ends, stops.
Because they were, again, it's probably the fourth, fifth time I mentioned this, they were all boldly told. I mean, there was meeting after meeting after meeting. I mean, yeah, some of the history is in here. There's a lot of work that I put into this, as well as the mayor when he was an alder, to not have these residents be special assessed. They were, I mean, they're all living comfortably now thinking that they're not going to be special assessed because they were told they would not be. And now we're coming back and bringing it forward again. There's no way I can support this. And I suggest the others don't either.
I can just state that from the council action sheet on April 3rd, the way that it was handled was there was a special deferment for specific properties, and then 23 of the 36 parcels along the entire stretch, which covers Contract A and Contract C. Unfortunately, Tri-County Baptist Church was one of the ones that are highlighted to be specially assessed. And again, to Mike's point, I'm confused as to why it was unanimously approved on April 3rd to specially assess these properties along the entire stretch. And now that it's coming forward, there's a concern to not especially assess these properties anymore. The only thing that I can say from a financial standpoint, though, to your point, Alderwoman, is because of the use of ARPA funds, we were going to do a special calculation that stretched for the both contracts. So it would reduce Contract A and Contract C by the amounts that we used with ARPA funds that would reduce overall the special assessment amount for both sides.
You still have the
Mayor,
floor.
I'd like you to take a look at page 86, please, and look at the names and the addresses of the people listed on there. I'm sure several of them will become very familiar to you as you and I met with them, with our former city engineer, several times. And look at these addresses. These are all the people that you and I, Mayor, told that they would, I mean, it was over. They were never going to be assessed, as well as Pastor Jones and his wife, the Owie family, the apple orchard.
So, Mr. City Engineer, as I'm looking through this, and I do recall that there was that waiver unless they had sold the property, divided the property, there was like 3 things that they would have to, or connect, there was, I guess, thank you, there was like 3, but yeah, to go back now on this, either we table this until we can get clarification on this, because this is like, yeah, we went down this road, I know we did.
Right. So the only thing that really makes them different is that they have a special resolution or ordinance that essentially says those specific properties have an indefinite deferment to those 3 qualifying events. So should they connect, should they move, or should they divide, then they would be forced into that special assessment
Correct.
place. So it will happen regardless. They have the deferment until one of those 3 things occur.
You still have the floor, if not, I'm going to go over recording. Do you want to yield for now?
I'll yield for now, thank you.
Alderman Day, then Alderman Sluse.
And I may be, because I know we had a few of these types of scenarios come up for this particular project, so I may be confusing these groups with, or this group of parcels with another, but I know we voted and we made some adjustments to that city ordinance 207-15 that carved out those particular situations. And was this one of those? Because I feel like we did vote on these. I remember because it got contentious because I generally don't like giving these exceptions, but I believe it was part of one of the amendments that we made to this. But again, I could be thinking of a different grouping of parcels, but I swear this was one of them.
Mayor?
There was a, like I said, a resolution or an ordinance from 2022 that was in there that listed specific properties. And that was the, not going to be assessed unless sold.
Right.
Unless divided or unless hooked up.
Yeah.
And it was explicitly for those properties. I have our municipal code up, so if you can tell me
Yeah,
again.
and I think it was also something to do with it being directly part of a water main project or something. That's
Correct.
kind of what set it apart from some of the other ones where we may do a special assessment. So I feel like I appreciate that it's in front of us now, but I don't think that there's anything we need to do now, because we have the three circumstances that it would happen in. Yeah, so I guess I'm a little confused, but I'm sort of with Alderman Eichman in that I'm not sure we can go back, because I think we already made the decision of how we were going to handle it.
Alderman Salus?
I am a strong advocate of improving the infrastructure in the city because, this is open ways for development and so on. Generally speaking, I think this should be a general policy. We need to extend the main, and give people a choice. If you want to connect and pay, go ahead. If you sell the property, very much what has been mentioned, then the new buyer, the money has to get paid. But, to force them to pay, I think that should be a general policy, that even if we put the assessment there and let the assessment accumulate interest, whoever the owner at a certain point, when they want to connect, the money has to be paid, but otherwise it's going to be endless disputes back and forth. So I'm very much seconding what has been established in the past. Thank you.
Alderman Eichman?
I just wanted to say, to Alderwoman Day, the confusion with that might be, and there was a stretch of properties on that same street, but further down in D1, where it was a very similar project. I believe the only two people sitting up here, elected-wise, during all of this was just the mayor and I. I walked into it as a new alder. It was before any of the others were up here on the Common Council. Just if that helps at all for any clarification purposes. And I believe I will need to abstain from this as well when it comes time to voting.
Hold
I
on.
don't want to stay on record, but I won't comment on it any
Okay,
further.
well, now it's getting crazier. Madam Director, and then back to Alderwoman Day.
So unless I'm wrong, what you would be approving tonight is essentially to prepare the engineer's report, determine what the special assessment amounts would be with the reduction of the ARPA funding. But all of those properties, because of the amendment to the ordinance, they all are subject to the deferment. So the Tri-County Baptist Church, for example, is eligible for that deferment as long as they follow the proper channels by submitting their deferment request to the city clerk within the 30 days and all of those requirements, but they are subject to the indefinite deferment except for if they connect or subdivide into two or more parcels. The original ordinance just extended the amount of parcels to also include the south side. So I believe it's the north side was 10 parcels. This addition and the amendment to the ordinance increased it to 26 parcels. So it allows for all of the benefited properties to be eligible for that deferment.
And I guess there's some people jumping out of their chair right now. How do these neighbors get notified that they have a 30-day window only, or you lose out and now we're going to look for tens of thousands of dollars from you? I guess that's my big thing, is how does that happen until I'm well aware you're there, please?
So I guess a couple of things. This is just a preliminary resolution. Until you get to the final resolution, that's when you decide on how you're going to assess, or don't want to decide that tonight by any means. Then to your point, they are notified by certified mail about the possible assessment. And then that mail also includes language or a letter about how they could apply or request for the deferment.
I just want to make sure it's not just like a little postcard that,
No, we've had that in several other projects that people have applied for, and it was accepted by the council.
Alderwoman.
Okay, no, I'll be knocking on these doors. I'll be sure that these people are well aware. I don't understand, however, this should have probably been brought up first. No work was done on that side of the road. These people cannot connect to city water. There's no laterals done, there's nothing done.
There were no laterals installed in either project, that is, but the water main is still available, so you could hook up, you could still put in your own lateral and service. The
But
water is available.
The road would have to be torn up, correct?
Not necessarily you can bore into the roadway.
Because no work on that side, I can confirm where I
Oh,
live, no work on that side of the road.
Correct, but the water main still is available where they could still reach the water main from the opposite side of the road and still connect. Water still is available.
Okay. Because in the past, Mike, before you were here, the confusion may have laid, it was a big joke in this area. I'll come around and say, quite the neighborhood joke. That here, everyone lives across the street from this big water tower, but yet no one can ever hook up to it, ever. So that's what everyone had been informed.
Right, and I can't speak for that, but all I'm trying to do is, going back to the history that where we ended, my research is, council did approve the special assess and did approve a public hearing date, it never moved forward from there. So I'm just trying to do some housekeeping here and clean up these items. As far as we move forward with this or not, that's obviously up to you folks.
And then, you still have the floor?
Oh, yeah.
So then, if this motion as presented would have to be February 18th, right?
Correct.
I know it's on the front page, so it's on the second page, and
Yeah.
then that's still preliminary as far as getting things moving, so, which is understandable. But these addresses would still have that deferment option.
Correct.
Okay. That's good. Mr. City Attorney and then Alderwoman Day.
When I saw this agenda item, I assumed that whatever history was there was detail reviewed because it had all these meeting dates in there, et cetera. But there are a number of comments being made that these property owners shall have this, et cetera, as if the process had been completed. I did a quick check. I did bring a copy of the code for special assessments. I don't see Highway 100 specified in there or anything. So there has to be a detailed review of the file on this matter to make sure that it didn't end up with some conclusion, because I assumed it did not. And all these comments about these people being guaranteed for this deferment, et cetera, that would be a final decision after a special assessment process. So there would be no guarantee. So all that, if this moves forward, has to be detail reviewed to make sure that it's all accurate. And as I said earlier, if you're abstaining, generally you should not comment on the items at the meeting.
Well, I'm questioning if I need to abstain. I'm not a property owner of here.
Well, why did you say that you were going to abstain? Because you already have prejudged the subject?
No, no one has, you don't have to legally state why you may abstain. It's done all the time up here for unknown reasons.
Well, you asked me.
You did ask.
No facts, no answer.
Okay, so you still have the floor, sir?
Well, I made my point. that
Okay.
This all has to be 100% clarified as to the process with regard to these properties and the potential special assessment that occurred previously. Because the easy answer may be, no, there were no finalizations on any of this, and
That's what I
whatever
believe.
code amendments were adopted, make that available within the code as an alternative to the many different choices for special assessments. So that's my thought under current process here.
Then,
Alderwoman Day, you got the floor now? Can you get her, there you go.
All right. So I think I've got this now, but I'm just circling back on this to make sure that everybody understands what is happening here. This is essentially a procedural formality that we have to close the loop on, not that there's any sort of change happening to what the path may have been back in April of 2024. We just didn't finish the process. And so in order for them to have the deferment, we need to have the hearing to then have the council action or the council decision to then put that in place.
Correct.
So,
The process.
so yeah, so it's a process, so we need to close the loop. So
You make the motion?
I know there's gonna be further discussion, but I will make the motion as appears in the action sheet to
February 18th.
maybe February 18th. Yes, as my motion as written, but changing the date to February 18th.
We have a first and a second. Further discussion? Alderwoman Eichman.
What my question was going to be before Alderwoman Day made the motion is with what Jesse has said, does there need to be more review? My question was going to be, should we table this for more information? But if you feel it's not needed.
Kelly, can you?
I mean, it's too late now, but this from what the,
It has to be done before
yeah.
It needs to get done.
the public hearing, so. And with regard to Alderwoman Day's comment about then they'll get the deferment, there are no guarantees.
No.
And it, that's prejudgment, so the process should go on per the statute and the
And-
municipal code.
It has been mentioned.
Alderwoman Eichman.
Thank you. It has been mentioned to me, and I believe that some of my constituents have tried calling the engineering department in the past. These residents all would like a letter. They never received a formal letter from the city stating the processes that we talked about, that they would only be special assessed for those three factors. Should the property be sold, divided, or hooked up? Back when Mayor Olson was the mayor, these property owners were all promised that they would receive a letter of that sort, just so that they had it out of good faith. So I'd like to also down the road request that my constituents receive that as well.
Public record.
Mr. City Engineer.
How is it public
So-
record?
The
Hold on.
preliminary resolution, we will not dictate how they will be assessed. That will come at the final resolution. That's where if the council so chooses, they would do an indefinite deferment, come up at that point. We would not broach a subject now with the letter. The letter is going to give them, this will be a certified letter, tell them what their assessment would be. Or not telling them that letter how they'll be assessed or if they'll be assessed. That does not happen in that first letter. Just being notified, put on notice.
Right, but down the road after that, they would like to receive something saying that they only,
And that's what the public hearing's for,
okay,
to go through that.
so that would be the time to request that.
Correct.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, if you're going to speak, can you?
To request it, they would have to fill the form out when you mail them the letter. Correct?
The request to defer it comes after the final resolution. Yeah, then when they receive that next certified letter saying this is your assessment, then they can apply for that
Right.
permit.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay, this will be a roll call, please.
Alderman Pecorelli?
Aye.
Alderwoman Eichman?
Abstain.
Alderman Hassan?
Aye.
Alderwoman Day?
Aye.
Alderman Salus?
Aye.
Alderman Craig?
Aye. 5 ayes, no noes, 1 abstention, motion carries. G4, resolution auth,
If I may, if we could move item G12 out of order, I am told that the subject of the matter needs to leave.
Sure.
because-
I see the Magna family back there. Good evening. Why don't we, I know, Mike, why don't we'll make this quick.
Yeah, this should be real quick.
Thank you, sir. Moving the item around to G. George 12. Parks Commission proposal to rename Ernie Lake Park in honor of Mr. Tony Magna, who joins us tonight, the Magna family. Go ahead, Alderman.
So I serve at the pleasure of the city on the Parks Commission, thankfully. And This has been an item that was brought forward, that the Parks Commission felt that, given all of the years of service from Mr. Magna, that renaming the park to Tony Magna Park, home of Lake Ernie, would be an appropriate measure, given his service to the city and everything, especially in the Parks Division. And I welcome questions.
Yes, further questions?
If there are none, I would like to make the motion
I'll second.
to rename the park.
And we've got a first and a second. Further discussion? I will be saying just a few things. I had, grown up with Elmer. He's a few years older, and served on the Parks Commission as a Parks Commissioner before jumping into political office with him, and worked with him on the 4th of July Commission. And this is wonderful. I mean, this is a very, very a great thing that we're returning back to one of the citizens that served over half a century serving the city. And this is a great thing. This is a wonderful thing. So further discussion, Alderwoman.
I just wanted to thank the Magna family for being able to make it tonight. This is quite an honor. I had called them, I'd reached out to Elmer at about 5 o'clock or a little after this evening, just confirming that he knew this was on here. None of the family knew. So in this cold weather, after surgery yesterday for one of the family members and so forth, thank you all for being here. And Tony, this is so well deserved. Thank you for everything that you've done above and beyond for our city. So we really appreciate you. Thank you.
So we've got a first and a second. Want to do a roll call on this, please?
Alderman Craig.
Aye.
Alderman Salus.
Aye.
Alderwoman Day.
Aye.
Alderman Hassan.
Aye.
Alderwoman Eichman.
Aye.
Alderman Pecorelli.
Aye. 6 ayes, no noes, motion carries, and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. City Engineer, thank you. Back to G4. A resolution authorizing the city to execute a contract for professional services with Rupert Milkie, Inc. to provide,
Three.
I'm sorry?
B3.
Oh, I get excited?
2 and 3. Okay.
What? We did 3.
Did G2.
Oh, so we got 2 and 3. Preliminary resolution declaring intent to exercise special assessment powers granted by section 207-15 of the municipal code and section 66.0701 of the state statutes for installation of a water transmission main on South Lovers Lane Road from West St. Martin's Road to 1,900 feet north of West St. Martin's Road, contract C, and setting a public hearing date for, again, February 18th, sir?
Correct.
February 18th, 2026 at 6:30 PM.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We've got a first and a second. Roll call again, please.
Alderman Pecorelli.
Aye.
Alderwoman Eichman.
Abstain.
Alderman Hassan.
Aye.
Alderwoman Day.
Aye.
Alderman Salus.
Aye.
Alderman Craig.
Aye.
5 ayes, no noes, 1 abstention. Motion carries. G4, resolution authorizing the city to execute a contract for professional services with Rupert Milkie, Inc. to provide a boundary exhibit for tax key number 9829999-000 for a do not to exceed fee of $7,400. Mr. City Engineer.
Yes, thank you. So this is for a property, the city of Franklin, to establish, prepare an exhibit for a boundary and to clearly indicate the 66-foot wide right-of-way. And then eventually this will also include in the field, marking the corners and getting the boundary established.
Okay, is a recommended motion?
I'll make the motion.
Nope, hold on. Well, we have a first and a second, and we have Mr. City Attorney here. City Attorney?
The action sheet and the resolution state that the adjoining property owner will pay for it. And I understood that the city engineer was going to start the presentation saying that that should be changed to the city shall pay for it.
Correct.
So Does that change the motion at all? I don't believe it does.
It does.
The motion changes?
Well, the resolution has to be changed. To delete the final whereas that the cost would be a pass-through to the owner of the parcel.
Okay, that's a change on the resolution. Questions, Madam Director of Administration? No? Okay. So again, the motion doesn't change, just that part of the resolution changes.
Well, it's part of the motion to delete that whereas.
Well, then why don't you, Mr. City Attorney, read the motion as you would see fit, and I'll see if they want to amend their
A
motion.
motion as set forth on the Common Council action sheet with the removal of the fourth whereas in the draft resolution in the meeting agenda packet.
My motion will hold.
Well, do you amend your motion?
I
to that?
amend it, yeah.
You amend your motion. Do you amend your second, sir? Okay, both are to amended.
Okay,
You still got the floor.
it's amended.
It's amended. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. G5, Milwaukee Metropolitan Schools District and City of Franklin Agreement for Oak Creek Southwest Metropolitan Interceptor Sewer. Mr. City Engineer.
Yes, so this project is, MMSD will be constructing an MIS sewer, a large interceptor sewer down South 27th Street from Oakwood Road to the city limits. As part of that work, this engineering department has requested a drop manhole and a structure near County Line Road, 27th Street, for the future connection of sewer for to date for our local sewers itself. So what we're proposing here is is the city's cost contribution for that drop manhole for our future use.
I'll make the motion to adopt. Second.
First and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. G6, this will also be a roll call. A resolution authorizing certain officials to execute a development agreement with the Franklin School District and Franklin School located at 8222 South 51st Street, tax key number 807-9999-001. Mr. City Engineer, you taking this?
Yes, so this is the standard developers agreement within the city of Franklin, the Franklin Public School District for the work at the high school. So any public improvement will be, is protected by this. The largest public improvement of the project is the public water main that runs through their campus, which will be built, inspected, and constructed towards, to city standards.
Say that again?
The water main will be constructed to city standards, and we'll have an inspector out there to make sure that it is. And then once that's completed, and inspected, and it's approved, eventually that water may be dedicated to the city of Franklin, like any other development. This developers agreement is for that work. It includes a letter of credit, and it's going to include insurance as well.
Okay, there'll be further discussion. Mr. Craig?
Just curious, should we be entering a developer agreement with an entity that currently we're involved with legal action?
Mr. City Attorney?
Yes, this development agreement. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Further discussion on this? Seeing none, would somebody like to make the recommendation motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
First and a second, roll call please on this.
Alderman Craig.
Aye.
Alderman Salus.
Aye.
Alderwoman Day.
Abstain.
Alderman Hassan.
Aye.
Alderwoman Eichman.
Aye.
Alderman Peccarelli.
Aye. 5 ayes, no noes, 1 abstention, motion carries. Okay. G7, Franklin Senior Citizen Inc. Program, 2025 year-end update. Sir, come up here.
Actually, my voice carries a lot,
It does.
so I can give you this without the microphone. The 2025 year-end report for the Franklin seniors.
Just for the heck of it, please just state your name and address for the record.
My name
I
is
just know you as
Noah-
Mr. President.
Noah Borkenhagen. I live over here in Highlands. Someplace. 9002 West Highland Park,
Thank you.
apartment 240. Don't call me after 2 o'clock a.m. Okay, it was a full and vibrant year for the Franklin seniors, and I would like to thank Kelly Hirsch, Casey Nguyen, Danielle Brown, Tammy Bissett for all the help and assistance. Tammy Bissett works at Woodbridge. In September, we submitted a budget proposal for 2026 for $14,000, given the increases in costs and the increased participation, but it was rejected. And we moved on with the $12,000 budget, 2025. The total meals served was 1,469 meals times 8, came to $11,752, or 97.9% of the total budget. The unallocated monies from 2024, the council graciously permitted us to roll over, enabled us to bring the 2024 and 2025 books in order, with only a small deficit starting this year. We negotiated, actually I did, with Tammy Bissett by providing a year schedule of dinners and estimate of people attending to keep the cost the same as in 2025. Moving forward, we'll be working with Danielle on a quarterly reconcile basis for us to stay within budget, and if necessary, increase members' contribution for meals or expenses that have increased. I'd like to thank Mayor Nelson for resolving the storage issue and the outstanding help of working with Linda Mathwig, our new treasurer, by Danielle Brown. Thank you for your attention. Noah Borkenhagen, that's me.
No, we know you by now.
Any questions?
Questions? Alderwoman Eichmann.
Mr. Borkenhagen, I just wanted to thank you on record for everything that you've done for the senior lunch program. You've done an excellent job of taking it over, and it's enjoyable. I may not be the age to attend, but I attend monthly. I'm getting there though. And it's an excellent, excellent program that we have within the city. Anyone who may be interested, listening or here, that has any questions on it can always reach out to one of us to learn. You do have to pre-register the Friday before. It's held once a month, first Wednesday of the month, at the Root River Center. It's an enjoyable time. It means a lot to so many seniors. I've had seniors come up to me for after holidays, telling me that's their only meal that they're having for a particular holiday. It brings livelihood to the seniors. I mean, it's just, I could go on and on. What a great program it is. So thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Been
Anything
nice
else?
to work with you. Appreciate
Sure?
it. Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
It cost me $50 for that.
No,
Oh, boy.
Well, thank you.
Discount.
There's no motion. Thank you. We are going to go to item 9 first, then go back to 8. So G9, Franklin Senior Citizens Travel Program, 2025 year-end update and request for carryover of $2,133.40 from the 2025 budget to the 2026 budget for Senior Citizens Travel account number 01-0521-5721. Who's taking this?
I'll make the motion to approve the request for the carryover.
Yes. All right, yours first, yours second. Do we need a roll call on this, Madam Director?
Talk louder.
No, just on the next one.
Good, yep. So we got a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? As have it, motion carries. Going back to G8. In ordinance to amend ordinance 2025-2712, an ordinance adopting the 2026 annual budget for the general fund to carry forward 213340 of unused 2025 appropriations for the senior citizen travel account.
I'll make the motion to
Second.
adopt.
First and second, this is a roll call.
Yes. Alderman Peccarelli.
Aye.
Alderwoman Eichman.
Aye.
Alderman Hassan.
Aye.
Alderwoman Day.
Aye.
Alderman Salus.
Aye.
Alderman Craig.
Aye.
6 ayes, no noes, motion carries.
I just wanted to, I guess, ask if Mr. Ryan wanted to come up and give the senior report or not.
So there's one thing I learned in life, follow that
Okay, thank you. G10, Fire Chief to provide an update on fire department facilities and mold remediation project at Fire Station Number 1. As you are approaching and getting comfortable, I had the pleasure of getting a tour and an update with a few other alders that went on that. And it was very educational and eye-opening, and seeing the challenges, and it's a big deal. It's a big deal. I'm glad we tackled it once it was brought to our attention, and we didn't kick it down the road like things have been kicked down the road in years past, and we dealt with it. So Chief, Assistant Chief, who's taking this very short update?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. 2 items for consideration by the council this evening. The first, and please bear with my voice, getting over a little bit of a head cold like probably half the world is. But to start out with, the good news is Fire Station Number 1, the testing that was conducted by our independent third-party environmental consultant concluded that the work that was done for making the station, making the facility healthy, remediating all the mold has been successful. So we're able to safely re-enter the building to begin the rebuilding and remodeling process. As the mayor mentioned, the process of getting all the mold out of the building actually opened up quite a few areas more extensively than what we originally had thought. And one thing that a lot of people forget or don't realize, the age of the building being 46 years old, it is starting to show its age. It's undergone several revisions, some expansions, and the physical plant, the physical shell of the structure, the brick and mortar is beginning to show its age. And the weather has slowed us down in the process substantially. Today, we were supposed to do water testing with the masonry contractor to see where we had any additional leaks. Obviously, that's not happening. That set us back quite a bit, unfortunately. We also began to receive estimates on rebuilding the interior of the station. And our 2026 budget for rebuilding was $50,000 in the capital budget. Because of the additional scope of work with the amount of drywall, potentially work on the masonry, which could potentially be a very big ticket item, as well as replacing the integrity of the sliding glass door in the day room area has been noted. Some windows have been noted that they do need replacement and are failing, as well as several custom cabinets that were damaged by water in both the administrative assistant's office and in the day room area. So it's been like standing next to a gas pump, watching the price estimates go up, up, and up for this project. So in the packet, there were a couple estimates preliminary that we had got in from Kelman. We're also getting estimates from Kahalik Construction in Oak Creek that's done some work for the city before at the police department, and also the various trades, the plumbing and electrician contractors that would need to come in for rebuilding. But during this process, it's raised a lot of questions or raised a lot of discussion. A fire station project has been in the city 5-year plans, building a new headquarters station on the DPW grounds on Ryan Road. And that's been part of the 5-year plan for many, many years. And our current situation that we're very strapped for space, we're kind of bursting at the seams for space. As fire chief, it really makes me question the investment of the taxpayer dollars. I would equate it to our road projects where we pave a new road and then a month later, all of a sudden we tear it up to do some more work on it. looking at, we want to make the best fiscal responsibly use of the dollars that we're given. And that's kind of part two with the second action item is looking at bringing in a consultant and an architectural consultant to come in and provide the council with several different options and the amount of investment required for each potentially to move forward. Whether it's we rebuild what we have, we expand what we have, we look at a completely new building at a different site. That's a recommendation that we have before the council to solicit qualification bids from some consultants to bring back to you for some different options. Let me see, what did I miss? But otherwise, we can go ahead and open it up to questions.
Alderwoman Eichman?
Thank you. Chief, I know you and I briefly discussed this when I took a tour recently of Station 1. What about those, and this was before I was an alder, but I was sitting out in the audience, running as an alder at the time, I believe, back when another architectural firm presented some ideas to the council. Are those plans anything that we can use or we can benefit from, or is it worth going back to that same architect if we invested money with them? Or I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
So I believe what you're referring to, the excerpts of the study that were in the packet were from Cooney Construction or Cooney Architects, done in 2022. And they did a space needs analysis for us at that time. They also were working on the DPW project. It was a two-pronged study. I think some of that information would still be relevant, but there is, especially with Station 1's condition, we probably would need we could probably reuse some of that information, but we would need to kind of continue the storyline after that. However, they did do space needs analysis for us, some sample floor plans that could potentially be utilized.
Thank you. So to start anyway, we would be looking to possibly add on, expand to Station 1. Am I correct?
I think one of our main focuses is that we need to get our people back in that station. Currently, right now we're out of our district.
Right.
And that's our busiest district in the city of Franklin. So we need to formulate a plan together to be able to get our people back in that station, even if it's temporarily with the kitchen and running water, because regardless, we're going to need that foundation in that station. We're going to need living spaces and living quarters. And then after that, then we formulate this plan. But
right.
We really need to get that house back in order.
Without a doubt. Is any idea of when they are going to be back in there? I mean, when I was there, what was that, a week ago or so? It looks like it's far.
It all depends on that water test.
Yeah.
Right now, we have walls that are bringing in water, and until we can't close any of that up until we find out where the leaks are and how to fix the leaks.
Right. So basically, so we're all on the same page, and this is what I understand is we're going to get this work done at Station 1, have it so it can be livable again. And then if we do decide to expand onto Station 1, that would be in addition to this. And the timing's just off, obviously. We, in a perfect world, if we could do everything all at once, that would be great, but we need to get that station functional again as soon as possible.
Right, and I think you hit it on the head, is kind of the long-range planning of where we want to be in 1 year, 5 years, and 10 years. It'll determine how much we invest in getting the crew back in there. Are we doing plumbing work and making the station habitable for 24 hours a day? Are we going to be doing that for a year, or do we need to invest more because it's going to be 5 years down the road? That's what we want to present different options to the council, so collectively we can make the best decision. We just for instance, I wouldn't want to spend, just a spitball number, I wouldn't want to spend $8,000 remodeling the day room and kitchen if we're going to tear it up in a year.
Because once they figure out where the water leak is it more cost effective to fix that wall?
Right.
Or bump out that wall and recreate it? Like, those are all the options we have to consider as is new and move on.
Right, which I completely understand, and you know my thought process as we discussed when I took the tour. I'm very supportive of the department and what they need. However, this is a large sum of taxpayer money, and ideally, what my thoughts are is to work with the architect firm, get the ideas in, the costs presented and so forth, and then possibly put this to referendum. This isn't something that I think that could happen that quick. I would love for it to, but realistically, I don't know. And that's just my personal thought process. And with that, I'll yield. Thank you.
So moving forward, chiefs, it's to get the crew back in, fully operational, fully functional. Then we'll look at options moving forward down the road, because this is a multi-million-dollar decision that the council's going to have to make, and how is that going to be paid for? Referendum, so then we'll have 3 on a tax bill. Are we going to do that? Is it going to be something we bond out? Is it something we borrow? This is not an easy, oh, here you go, boom. So my opinion is to get this department up and going, get it back to where we got to go, and you're fully functional, and then we'll bring back options to the council, and the council can decide where they want to go from there. Mr. Piccarelli.
Thank you. So if we went down the road of hiring, going through this, getting some statement of qualifications and going down that process, how long do we think that process is going to be to get through that and then get somebody in and then go through that next step to get to kind of what's our longer term view?
The request for qualifications, the only date that I did put in as a target date was to have that study completed by May 31st, 2026, which puts us right at the 2027 budget planning. And the Director of Finance can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think having it done by that May time period would, put options ahead of the council when you're planning for that 2027 budget.
And then as far as, I know the weather put us behind the schedule right now, but assuming, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks from now, we can do the water test potentially. And then you're going to get into making decisions on restoring to whatever level we got to restore to. That puts us like what, February, March, somewhere in there. So when are you thinking that, because where I'm going with this is, if we're not going to be at a point until May to know kind of what our strategic direction, let's say, is, if we're trying to make decisions on how much we're going to restore, right?
Sure.
And build back, I would think you'd need that information. Otherwise, we're kind of going in and going, well, we got this going, like where are we at? And
I see exactly your point, and there's several forks in the road.
Yeah.
We are currently working on making repairs to interior walls, to the drywall from the interior walls that would need to be done no matter what. So that'll put us a little bit ahead, and then kind of having that decision point. If the water testing is delayed even further, there are some temporary options for the plumbing arrangements for the kitchen and day room area that we could do fairly economically if we needed to limp along, so to speak, until we get that better weather to do the water test. So there's some relatively low cost options that we could limp along to make the building habitable for 24 hours without investing a huge amount of money prematurely.
Okay.
That makes sense. There's I guess a couple more decision points in there that we potentially could use that capital funding that we currently have allocated to get back in operation with our goal of getting the crew back into the building.
And then as far as build, how much more you're going to invest building it out, you would then be waiting for that architecture plan.
Correct. Yep.
And the thought is we'd have that by like May.
And it may even be able to be sooner. One of the vendors I spoke with believed they could complete it in a couple of months, which if they were approved in February, maybe April.
Okay. All right.
Depending upon who we would decide to go with.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, from my standpoint, it makes sense to understand what we need to do longer term. And we also have to get that, I agree, we got to get the station being able to be,
Up
have
and
people
running.
in it. Correct.
Right away, up and
Exactly.
running.
So, With that, I'll yield.
One thing, if you, for the next brief summary, if you can find out from Glenn Beardsley what the plan is and the timeline for that water tower, because that's going to play a big part. If that water tower and all the little buildings and all their stuff is gone, because I know where my 2 cents is, but it depends on that removal and the timeline of that. That's very important.
For a number of years. Go ahead.
Mr. City Attorney, then Alderman Salus.
Mr. Beardsley has said that's a 5 to 10 year life existence for that tower.
Alderman Salus.
Thank you, Chief, for your presentation. Just I want to let you council members know that after we visited the station, a few of us a couple weeks ago or so, I spent maybe 1 hour after you guys left with the chief and the staff there. I do believe this station, 50 years old, and I believe if you invest in any money to expand the station to accommodate the administration would be a bad investment. My take on it, even save the money on the consultants, that this station should be remodeled. We measured what is about 2,000 square feet, the living quarter where the firemen will stay. That remodel this as if there is no administration in there, and we definitely have to find home for the administration. I'm just wondering if there is a space that we can, we remodel the station for as if it's a station number 2 for good without administration, and plan long-term for the administration to be on the Ryan number 4 station. Is there any housing arrangement that you can think of for the administration for the time being in the transition?
Well, we are currently occupying the building now, and I think I see what you're saying is that if we remodeled it just to be a 24-hour crew station,
correct.
We probably could still keep a portion of the administrative staff there. We currently have administrative staff at our Station 2 on 60th Street, so we could, if needed, we could split them during the interim and make things work if we were to construct that station number 4 on Ryan Road.
Because if we do station number 4, we can plan it very well, where you have a section for the administration and you have a fire station, rather than investing millions of dollars. This way the scope of the mission is about remodeling 2,000 square feet only, as if this is going to be a station without administration, and working on the longer term with the administration as, part of station number 4. That's my take on it. I yield.
Thank you. There's no motion. This is just a motion to accept and place on file. Any other questions before we make that motion to receive and place on file? Okay.
I'll make the motion to receive and place on file.
First and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you both.
G11, Fire Department request to solicit statements of qualifications for a fire station facility review and space needs analysis.
So this would be that next step of distributing the request for qualifications for a consultant that was attached with the packet. We would distribute that to all interested consultants who have experience in public safety and fire station building design. We would evaluate the applicants along with the Department of Administration, bring back a proposal to the council for consideration, along with the investment of dollars that study or analysis would be. So this basically is just the first step to give us the green light to bring some consultants in for review and bring one to the council for you to meet and come up with a proposal and a price of what the project would cost for the study.
I'll make the motion to authorize.
I'll second.
First and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. We already handled G12. And G13. Authorization of the professional services agreement between the City of Franklin and MCPR Marketing LLC, Mary Christine, for 2026 communication services, including the attached 2026 communications plan in an amount not to exceed $25,000, and authorize execution of the agreement. Would you please come up? Madam Director of Administration?
Yes, so when we were going through our budget and planning for 2026, this was an item that had originally been on the budget for, obviously, the year, as it has been in 23 and 24 and 25. So when it was put on hold and the 25,000 was put into contingency funds, we knew that we had to bring something forward, and the direction from the council was to provide a scope of work that my understanding is Mary Christine had met with or talked with some of the council on that portion of it, and obviously just to get our standard agreement in place as well. So this is a carryover from months ago, and trying to determine if this is a contract that we would be moving forward with or not.
Okay, before we entertain questions from the council, good evening, ma'am. Just state your name and business address for the record, please.
Mary Christine, 6805 Etna Court in Wauwatosa.
Excellent. Okay, who up here would like to start? Any questions? Alderwoman Day?
Thanks. And thanks, Mary Christine, for coming in. Thank you for kind of taking what we all said a few months back and kind of collating all of that and bringing it forward. I appreciate there being kind of a more comprehensive plan in place rather than using your services just for a social media page. I think the city needs a more comprehensive plan, and that should come first and foremost, and then all those little caveats kind of dovetail off of that. So I appreciate that. I said two comments about what was proposed here / questions. I would include in this as part of the communications plan in some manner, working in the newsletter piece to that to make sure that that is all branded and congruent with all of the other marketing strategies that we have, because what we're using right now, and this is going to sound bad, but it's not to disparage the work that goes into putting it together, but it looks like it was created in 1995 with clip art tools. And so if we're going to be moving forward with a more digital medium, I understand that we're still keeping print copies of the newsletter, but I think we need to make that be congruent with the branding and the strategy and how we're rolling that out as well. So that was my comment. I think that should get added in some way, somehow. And then my other piece that just gave me a tiny bit of pause, and this is just because of my background. When we talk about the EOP and kind of making an abridged version or tinkering with that, I want to be really, really careful before we do that. And make sure that police, fire, and health are a part of that, because those plans have been well established and in place for a long time. And well, to some people, and again, this is me speaking from my public health background, not disparaging anybody else that doesn't have that background, but I can see how it would look daunting or long or difficult to find all the pieces if you're not trained in how to use those documents.
Yes.
So I would also strongly recommend, if there's anybody that's going to look at them and make changes to them, that they're all people who have been through some sort of ICS training or some sort of emergency preparedness training before they make any suggestions or changes to it, because the stuff that's in there is in there for a reason. And while it may not seem like it's needed or useful, it's in there for a reason. And those plans have been tried and tested. So perhaps rather than because I don't, and forgive me if this has happened in the last few years, and it may have, and I don't know about it because I didn't need to know about it, but maybe running a tabletop or something with everybody involved and like looking for where those pinch points might be before just, throwing the baby out with the
Absolutely.
bathwater. Something along those lines. So those were the two things that kind of drew my attention. But otherwise, again, thank you for putting in the work and meeting with me and going over everything in greater detail. I appreciate it.
And that meeting with you, Alderwoman, really helped me navigate and grow the original plan. I agree with you 100%. Don't fix what isn't broken. The police department and health department have very robust plans already in place. And the city has a very substantial communications or crisis communication plan, but not many people are aware of it. And it's like the old school white pages used to be. It's that thick. So it's finding a way to reposition or make it more feasible, and then finding ways to connect with the fire department. By no means would it be touching their already in place communication plans.
And there's so many new, I'm sorry, Kelly. Then there's so many new department heads and people now that have probably never run one of those exercises. So again, just, getting everybody familiar with it and comfortable with it.
And getting ahead of it before something bad happens. I'm with you 100%.
So I just wanted to clarify a few things. This would not be in place of or a revision to that plan. Our plan still remains in place. We actually have had a couple of tabletops and training and try to go through and look at how we can update it because it was last updated in 2018. Congruently, we are also, some of us are doing a larger group with the Southeast region. And so there are a number of municipalities, and we're working on that emergency operations plan in addition to kind of what we already have. So it's kind of twofold. And that has been an ongoing process where we have had, I think it's been maybe once a year or maybe a little bit longer than a year, where we have had people come in, evaluate our plan, talk about how we can improve it. And so, yeah, we've been doing that.
Alderwoman Eichman?
Thank you, Mayor. I also wanted to thank you for putting this all together, as well as the follow-up to Alderman Craig's request regarding other municipalities. They have in-house marketing and communications. One I think we can add to the list, I believe Greendale too also has one marketing person on board. So this is all very helpful. I just wanted to bring up, I've brought forward in the past to the council about having a City of Franklin Facebook page dedicated just to the city. And unfortunately, it hasn't gone anywhere because the city attorney had brought up many valid points and legalities. It's not just that easy where we can decide one day, all right, we're going to have a Facebook page as a city. So that, we would have to really take a look at the legalities of it, the comment section. It's a lot more complex than just starting a Facebook page. Correct, Jesse?
I'd have to look in the mountains of files if I worked on that.
Well, I know, but in the past, Jesse, at least twice since I've been up here as an alder, I've brought up the mention of us as a city having a City of Franklin Facebook page. We're kind of behind the game to be, such an up and up growing community, but yet we're the only community around that I can think of that does not have a Facebook page. So I know you have a lot on your plate. But if you can revisit your notes from that, because you did a lot of work on that back a year or two ago, maybe 3, Jesse, that maybe if you could find those notes and revisit it again. There was concerns as far as, can we have comments? Can we not have comments? Can the comments be turned off? I think those were some of the outline reasons, I believe, why the council at that time had decided to not move forward with a Facebook page.
Yeah, just.
And then I wanted to also ask Mary, are we, because I only do Facebook, are we on Instagram or anything else? Do you have us on?
No,
Okay. Or X or anything like?
no.
What do you have us on?
Facebook, and I started a LinkedIn page. So any department wanting to hire can certainly share those job opportunities with me, and I can post it. I've been posting some from the police department, and I did that with the HR position as well as the other opening that the city had.
When you say Facebook, though, you're referring, because the city of Franklin does not have a Facebook page, so you're referring to the posting on the mayor's page, correct? And I also wanted to point out with the posting that you do on the mayor's Facebook page, to make it loud and clear, is because the city of Franklin does not have an official Facebook page. So many go to the mayor's page to look for that type of information. And I believe, and I have an active Facebook page. I don't believe anyone else up here does have an active Facebook page, but where we try to share information. And you have offered, as part of your position, at any time to also add things to my personal, or to my Alderwoman page that I personally run too. I just choose and have the time to run it. And you would do that for anyone sitting up here, is that correct?
Well, what I have been doing is making sure that I do tag all the alders anytime that I post on the temporary mayor's page. So at least it will appear in their feed.
Okay. And then lastly, I just wanted to mention, and then I'll yield, is running a Facebook page is a lot. Before they blocked me, I used to be a admin, moderator, whatever on the community page. You know, those positions are unpaid. Those that run that page, there's a lot of behind the scene work. They put a lot of hours. There's way more to it than the average person can even imagine, between the messaging, the arguing. There's times where when I helped run that page, I would get calls from the police department to edit things on it or take them down or remove. And that's and that was just a community page. So there's a lot of work that goes into it. So I just wanted to point out, we also have to remember we can't stretch Mary Christine too far because her agreement is to exceed $25,000. So, I mean, the hours invested into a Facebook page would be a lot. So I just wanted to point that out. With that, I'll yield. Thank you.
2 points I would like to make.
Administration.
One is that this must go through IT and the Tech Commission before anything is made, a decision is made to move forward. That absolutely has to go through that. Another thing, I would strongly push for no comments. That way we don't violate the First Amendment for people, because we would not be able to block people, and we would not be able to remove things. And we do not have the time to play with trolls all day. And that's exactly what it would be. So those are my recommendations.
We're going to go with Madam City Clerk, then Mr. Pecorelli, then back to Alderwoman Eichman.
Also with the Facebook page, you have to remember open records. So, and I have a lot of them, so that will create.
Yeah, we have an account, and we have the archiving, because we had an account, 2 separate accounts for different departments. So now the city has come under a umbrella, if you will, for that archiving, keeping the information for open records. So that part is done. It is the comments in the Tech Committee.
Well, and if I could just share that in the packet of information that I did present, I included some of the municipality Facebook pages that were also mentioned in the people that do have in-house marketing and communications people. So you can see that they all do include comments. They allow comments. The thing I could recommend for that, and not everybody, not all the municipalities respond to all the comments, which is absolutely fine. But I would recommend that the way around that is having the city attorney write a brief disclaimer on the home page, similar to what the mayor reads before these meetings, saying that if these things will not be allowed. If we do see them, the content will be removed and you will be blocked.
But you can't, I would say no.
So, okay, we're going to go back to Madam Clerk. You got something to comment on it?
Yeah.
Madam Director of Administration?
I would suggest no comments. I mean, it's an informational page. You're trying to get information out there. You don't need someone saying, well, I don't like Halloween on this day. I want it on this day. Then you get all these people going back and forth. I mean, it's a open records nightmare.
It's a nightmare, period.
Yeah.
Okay, Alderwoman Eichman, you got the floor?
Thank you. And I just wanted to add to what Kelly said. With the comments, not only that, but when we would want to reply to people, there's just simply not enough time either. And no offense, Mary Christine, but you're not an elected official, so you may not have the answers. And then that's extra time for you trying to contact either the mayor or one of us to find out the answer, to get back to the person on Facebook. You know, and then I teeter-totter where if we're going to turn off the comments on it, and it's informational only page, then why don't we just update our city website, make it more user-friendly? Same difference, in a way. And it sticks out to me because I was pushing for a City of Franklin Facebook page pretty much since I first became an alder almost 4 years ago. There was something with the comments, was the legality that had held us up from not moving forward and having a City of Franklin page. I want to allude to the fact that it was something about we could not have the comments turned off, which may make sense as to why all these other municipalities don't have their comments turned off and people are responding. But Facebook does have an option where comments can be filtered and gone through. There can be keywords. I believe, Kelly, you and I may have had a discussion on that it was a while ago, where there's certain keywords that I think that if the comments, if they come up, or if, for example, somebody uses profanity or so forth, and look at the PD page, our own Franklin Police Department page. I don't know who's monitoring their comments, but there's comments, and some of the comments that are posted right on a police page, whether it be our own Franklin Police Department or other municipality police departments that I follow, at times can be a little bit alarming and shocking, considering people are commenting with their real name, posting on a police page, some of the comments that they do. But there was something that was holding us up moving forward with Facebook due to the comments.
If I may, I would say I've done some research, and it's not illegal to do it. In fact, it would be the only, not that my opinion matters, but it's the only way I would support moving forward is comments off. It is way too much, and I feel like it's like bringing a farmer's market here without being prepared. It's the same thing. And when you're talking about informational only, well, yes, but you're talking about two different sources. So you're saying we don't have a Facebook page. Granted, all those people could go out to our website, but they don't. So we could have our website feeding into Facebook, and it can be informational. And all of the department pages that we have that were not set up with the blessing of the council and IT, those can all come underneath it and feed.
Sure. Well, and, as far as having a farmer's market without being prepared, that's like taking advice from someone, taking legal advice from someone who's not an attorney. So the advice what I'm mentioning came directly from the city attorney. This isn't my feeling, my thought, what I think. This was legal advice that was given to the council before anyone was up here, aside of the mayor and I. So that's where my information comes from, is directly legally from an attorney. So that would be something that as I asked Jesse to look into with the comments, would be excellent. Thank you.
Further discussion, Mr. Salus?
Thank you, Mary, for your presentation. I just have a few points or a few questions. This is going to be a contract between the city and your company. And so basically there is no one from the city here supervising the work you do. At the same time, we are spending taxpayer dollars. So we need, how do you propose that you can document, or like if someone challenged me and say, okay, Alderman Salus, you hire someone and she actually managing the Facebook of the mayor, all that kind of stuff. How can I answer back? In fact, she is doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are you planning to give us like update on a monthly basis, 3-month basis? How can we measure your effectiveness and productivity dealing with the public in general?
I understand everything that you're asking for. The good news is everything that I do is very public facing. So when you talk about anything that would be posted to the hopefully upcoming city Facebook page or LinkedIn, that's all public facing. Right now, I am one of the managers of the mayor's Facebook page. So anything that is posted, any photos from events, that's things that I've all done. also media relations. And I would like to say, I would love to do a news release announcing the renaming of the park for Mr. Megna. I think that would be a wonderful story. So that's really the good news, is it's all out there for people to see. I'm not doing anything really behind the scenes that people wouldn't know about, if that makes sense.
What about the invoicing? Maybe I think that's your question.
Is it
Invoicing.
possible, like, you know, when we get like the monthly, when we make the monthly payment, like, are we gonna get an invoice? You know, actually, I spend 1 hour on this, 2 hours on
Yes,
that.
I
just like-
have been doing that. I have been doing that. So you see a breakdown of meetings, social media, events that I've gone to, things like that. That all is all broken down by the hours.
Okay. And just the second item, you know, when perception is very important, especially in politics. Like, you know, there has to be a different way other than, you know, managing the mayor's Facebook, you know, of disseminating information. This is like, it's going to be extremely difficult for us as an elected officials to explain it to people, because, you know, just like any one of us would like someone like highly qualified like yourself to manage, you know, our Facebook and things
But
of
you're
that
available
nature.
to have that if you want it. The council is able to have that. All you have to do is ask, and you will have that.
I'm just like wondering if there is like, for example, if we can form a committee, like, you know, call it public relation or PR committee. So this committee sit together, okay, well, let's send a press release about this. Let's do announcement about this. Like, rather just like to take all elected officials out of the equation. Is that a possibility?
I've never heard of a committee doing public relations, because you would need someone that understands how to write a news release and the factuality that needs to be involved in a news release.
You'll be in charge of that, just like basically to make sure that the source of the information has been filtered by a committee, like, you know, committee that does not represent any one of us, like to make sure that this committee, okay, well, you'll be in charge of doing the work, but, you know, if the committee met on a monthly basis, whatever basis that you select, at least to have the information community-based rather than, you know, stemming from any one of us in, you know, in the council.
Well, I think that could be done, but the only issue that I see with that thought is, because of Facebook and social media, everything, if it happened today, if it happened this morning, it needs to be on social media that afternoon. So by having a committee, not only are you dependent upon other people's schedules, and you're talking 30 days out before anything can get done, it really, the city would not know anything new that's happening.
Then what criteria you use, for example, to publicize certain events and not to publicize other events? It's just like basically your personal judgment?
No, it's all the information that I'm given. Alderwoman Eichmann just has so much going on and so much to share that she's just a plethora of information for me to be able to post about. If there is a ribbon cutting, some people mock a ribbon cutting. Well, if it goes on the social media page, it's the way that the people of Franklin can know that there is a new coffee shop that they can go to. By posting about these ribbon cuttings, it's promoting the new businesses that are coming into the community, which I would think you would want everybody to know about, so they can support those new businesses.
So you don't see any problem or conflict being, you know, contracting with the city and managing the Facebook of the mayor, for example? You don't see an issue with that?
Again, the mayor's page it's not the perfect scenario, but it's the only one that we can use right now until the city decides if they want to move forward with a Facebook page, which I truly am hoping that they do, because the people of Franklin really need one outlet that they can go to get unbiased information about what is coming up, where they can go to, what's coming in, and it would be an unbiased city activity social media channel.
Right. I think what you are
Thank
are
you.
necessarily asking isn't so much about a committee, but keeping it, where is the message landing, right? What's the output of the message? And I completely understand
That's
and
correct.
agree to, we need to find something that's completely neutral and only city. And maybe right now, until a determination is made, we have a tab added to the website and we can have all kinds of announcements on there that, you know, we would get over to Lisa, who ends up adding content to the website.
And she would do that daily?
She does that daily now.
But if the people don't know about the website, they would already be going to the website. People don't go to websites, they go to social media for whatever updates they can have. So social media is known for that fast, quick update, and God forbid a crisis happens in the city, nobody's going to think to go to the website first. They're going to go to a social media channel to see what is happening.
Right. So again, I'm saying that this could be a backstop until something is determined with the social media page, so that way it can be specific to the city, not tied into any one elected official or what have you. Certainly, they would be expected to share on their pages because they would want to do that, to provide that information. And then eventually that information, regardless, we would want to have some sort of platform from our website that seamlessly feeds over to Facebook, because you don't want to be updating the two of them constantly. You know, you'd hope that it would be essentially one and the same. So that would be kind of my goal on it, but.
So, okay.
Done.
You yield, sir? Okay, before we go to Mr. Craig, just so we reiterate this again, because I think there's some mischaracterization going on. Every single elected official up here has the ability to have their page up and running, things being posted. I choose to. I post my own. She posts things. Everything is about Franklin. Everything is Franklin related. I have never once used this to promote me or anything else. This is all about Franklin events. And every one of you up here can do the exact same thing. You have to choose to do it. Okay? So after tonight, if you really want, contact her, do the same thing. But that's why everybody's been tagged now. So she tags everybody, so then you can share it on your own. So that's how we do it efficiently until we can find out and get somewhere. Mr. Craig and Alderwoman Day.
Thank you. Number one, fantastic proposal, and I love the amount of detail and scope that you've put into this. And
Thank you.
that is, I think, something that gives everyone much more clarity as far as, you know, to Alderman Salu's point of the what, you know what I mean? Just a couple things real quick. Number one, when I remember the director of IT saying that part of the problem of past usage on the Facebooks is where someone decided they left and then usernames and passwords were just kind of lost in the wind. How are we going to be able to sustain that and or whatever email would be tied to said page?
That's a great question. That's the reason why they normally recommend limited people managing. Coming from the agency world, when somebody says they're managing a social media channel, it doesn't mean they own it. They are just one of the hands that are helping to manage the page with content. It's always recommended you have 2, possibly 3 people with access to that page to act as admin people, simply for security reasons. It prevents duplication and it keeps the page nicely organized. It's something that Lisa and I could manage, and I would leave the third up to whoever would see fit, whosever decision that would be.
And then just in seeing social media and the wonders that it's able to do to society as a whole, what would the kind of contingency plans be if somehow the Franklin Facebook page was compromised and or hacked? Like, how are we able to minimize any sort of bad information that we pushed out and/or, hey, gang, the fire department is now being dismissed, and all of a sudden there's a giant uproar. There's a million calls into City Hall. How do we mitigate those sorts of things so that way that if it does ever occur, that we're able to, kind of shut off the valve right away? How would we do that?
That's something that would fall under the scope of the IT director, IT department, and also technology commission, because we do have requirements of various securities that we have to have in place. And again, everything, this scope for sure should be going to them first for their direction and really their blessing on how to move all of this forward in the right way.
And Alderman Craig, just so you know, I monitor what is now being used as the mayor's Facebook page daily, frequently throughout the day, just to make sure there isn't anything wonky that has been posted.
I would hate to see something where the mayor throws his hat in the ring for the run for governor or something like that. And then all of a sudden there's a big blow up of what's going on? Is he leaving Franklin? What are the answers to these questions when they're not even real questions to begin with?
Agreed, and that would also be part of an elevated crisis communication plan.
Okay. And then lastly, when it comes to some of, and thank you for reaching out to other municipalities as far as what they do. I did also, once I saw some of these numbers, reached out to, especially Oak Creek, and their number, that 7, jumps off the page as, wow, that's significant.
Think about the salaries.
That's one. And then also then the scope of what they do. It's, I talked to one of the alders in Oak Creek about so give me the scoop on this, and they do a lot, and I wouldn't want to put the level of responsibility on, that 7 people kind of share that load on yourself in that regard. So,
And I was also informed that they farm out some of their creative, even though they have a fully staffed in-house creative department, they do farm out some of that work. So,
So, yeah, I think that there is something there to kind of address with, the position in that regard. Whether it is running it as the city, whether it's running as Mayor Nelson, City of Franklin, whether it's the Jason Craig experience, whatever it may be.
I was waiting for this all night. Well done.
There's a lot of avenues to be taken with this, and like I said, seeing the breakdown as far as the responsibility, the umbrella, as it were, of what you'd be covering, I think is a lot cleaner as far as what we're looking for.
I'd agree with you.
Thank you.
Alderwoman Day, then Alderwoman Eichman, then Madam Clerk.
Okay.
Mr. Pecorelli.
So we're kind of talking in circles a little bit, so I always want to try to see if I can find an off-ramp. At least to the discussion we're having right now, because I think a lot of the questions are valid, but we're not going to come to those answers tonight. And I think, some of the things we were talking, the perception versus the reality of what's going on. But I think we have to be very cognizant of that perception, even if it may not be what is really happening. I like what City Administrator was proposing with potentially more of a rapid update kind of thing on the website. To your question, Mary Christine, is if Lisa could do that. So Lisa is a Wonder Woman. I don't know if I would have made it through COVID and the updates that I had to give without having Lisa. She would update multiple times a day, on the weekends, on holidays, all the things. We were working hand in hand. So she has the ability to do it, and she's done it before. So if there are things that are very time sensitive, so I like that idea of, as a stopgap, maybe that's how we do things. And then if other people choose to then show people back to the website if they don't know that it's there from their pages. But I think that's a potential stopgap. But what I would like to propose perhaps is that to move this forward this evening, to, move forward with the professional services agreement between the city and Mary Christine PR Marketing, and that you will then work with the Technology Commission to sort of finalize the communications plan and some of those things. And then maybe that comes back to council after the Technology Commission and you, City Administrator Lisa, have time to kind of hash all of those details out. But I think what's in front of us is a great starting point to move forward. And then just, some of those extra things to kind of think about. Like I said, I understand what's happening now and that technically there's nothing wrong with how it's being done. But again, perception reality is a big deal these days. So just food for thought, but I would like to say we can move forward with what we have here, maybe adding a caveat to the motion that that the communications plan, attachment A, will be discussed with the Technology Commission, and a final version of that would come back to council for approval. Because as it's written here, kind of sounds like that is what we would have and just run with it. So just, I want the experts in the room, especially Jim, to have some kicks at the can at that.
Right. Well, and if they're not involved, and everything really should be going through them, anything that will eventually touch their department should go through them, and they should have a say on it. And you know how it is, if you're not talking to them beforehand, then you're going to be talking to them afterwards about all the problems that could have been prevented by talking with them.
Yeah. So that's all I have. I mean, I can make that motion. We can continue to have further discussion, or if you want to go discussion, and then I can come back for the motion.
I was going to ask you, Alderwoman, if you don't mind, we've
Yep.
got 3 more.
Yep.
And then we can go back to that. So why don't we go with Madam Clerk first, Alderman Pecorelli, and then Alderwoman Eichmann.
The only thing is on the agreement, usually agreements are dated the day after it's approved at council. So this one is dated the 9th. Usually they're dated the day after the council. So this would then be dated the 21st of January, and then I would add the year in there of 2026.
So we're talking page 193, the top of,
Correct.
and you want that to be entered into this, what,
21st day. It's
21st day of January 2026?
Correct. We usually date it the date
Fair enough.
after the council.
Are you good with that for now?
Yeah,
Mr. Pecorelli?
Thank you. Yeah, so just to reiterate, since I am the alder person that sits on the Technology Commission, yes, any of these types of things with social media, any other technology, anything that ever touches technology really needs to come through the Technology Commission. The social media topic's been actually something we're expecting to come through, but just hasn't gotten to that point yet. So yes, I totally agree. It should be added to this, that we gotta go through the Technology Commission, get to a final spot before, and then come back with essentially a plan to the council. And so, yes, I would like to make sure that that's included in here. And I want to make sure that it got brought up a couple times, but we really need to leverage that Technology Commission.
Right, and it is part of the bylines, or the bylaws of the commission to have these things vetted through them. So, trying to get on that track to doing that, this is definitely something that would absolutely have to go through them.
Alderwoman Eichmann? Bring it home.
Technology department, as I sat in it for several years, was also on my list. I won't touch on that. That was all covered. I also wanted to mention that Facebook is slowly going away as well. If you ask any teenager at Franklin High School, they'll tell you Facebook's for old people. I've had teenagers tell me that.
I'm old.
There's several in this room that I personally know that are not on Facebook. I have family members not on Facebook. We would be withholding information from residents if it wasn't counter-shared with our website as well, and it was only shared on social media. There's a lot of my friends that I graduated with from Franklin High School aren't even on Facebook anymore. It's kind of going away little by little. And many people know you can't rely on everything written on Facebook unless it's on an official City of Franklin Facebook page, which not yet created. So I wanted to throw that out there. Also, I wanted to say, as far as Oak Creek and their PR and marketing, we're definitely not comparing apples to apples. Oak Creek does have an active farmers market, which many Franklin residents go to. Not only do they have a farmers market, they have a winter's farmers market. They have several activities in Drexel Town Square throughout the year. Oak Creek always has some function, a winter's event, ice sculptures. They have a lot of activity and a lot of events going on in Oak Creek that Franklin does not have yet anyway. So that would be the need to have more marketing people. When you have those things that you provide for your residents, we don't have that here in Franklin yet. So that's why they need more marketing people, because they have more things to advertise and promote. And with that, I will yield. Thank you.
Alderwoman Day, do you want to go back to your motion, please?
Sure. Let's try. Motion to approve the professional services agreement between the City of Franklin and MCPR Marketing LLC, Mary Christine, for 2026 communication services. Including review by the Franklin Technology Commission of a formal communications plan in the amount not to exceed $25,000, and authorize the mayor, city clerk, and director of finance, treasurer to execute the agreement approved as to form by the city attorney.
Mr. City Attorney?
And potentially add, and with additions / changes by the Director of Administration, because there are some blanks to be filled in the standard city form.
And the date.
And the date commencing January 21st, 2026.
That would cover it, what I just said.
That would cover what you just said. Good. Do you?
Yep, I'm good with that.
Okay, that's the first. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, second by Mr. Craig. This will be a roll call, please.
Alderman Peccarelli.
Aye.
Alderwoman Eichman.
Aye.
Alderman Assam.
Aye.
Alderwoman Day.
Aye.
Alderman Salus.
Aye.
Alderman Craig.
6 ayes, no noes, motion carries. Moving on to
Funding piece.
the funding piece, which would be G14. An ordinance to amend ordinance 2025-2712, an ordinance adopting the 2026 annual budget for the general fund to transfer $25,000 of contingency appropriations to administration professional services for the public relations contract. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion to adopt.
Second.
First and a second, this is a roll call.
Alderman Craig. Alderman Salus.
Aye.
Alderwoman Day.
Aye.
Alderman Hassan.
Aye.
Alderwoman Eichman.
Aye.
Alderman Peccarelli.
Aye.
6 ayes, no noes, motion carries. What we'll do now, I think is a great time, it's 8:32. We're going to adjourn till 8:40, and then we'll go into G15. So we're going to go off. You let me know when we're off. I'm not rereading.
I'll make the motion.
Hold on. So we got a first and a second. Do we have a second yet or not? Somebody step up. I know, I see his hand. So we've got a first, we'll pause. Mr. City Attorney.
As you just read into the record, Mr. Mayor, the need to go into closed session is, as you stated, to meet with legal counsel for the city with regard to this subject litigation, to receive advice with regard to the strategy to be adopted by the council with regard to the pending litigation.
Thank you. We've got a first. Is there a second? We have a,
So there may be some hesitation, good evening, everyone. Some hesitation based on the memo and the discussion that we had in the memo. Obviously, we're in kind of a gray area as it relates to this particular issue. Certainly, there's no question that if we were going into a circumstance where it was like a development agreement that we were approving, and you had given directions, go negotiate it, we're bringing back the agreement as you told us to negotiate it. That at that point, it clearly, under that Otzinger case, would say that you should not go into closed session for that purpose. All you're doing is approving the agreement. There's no negotiating, no strategy. There's nothing that is going on there that requires a closed session, so you don't. The language of the exception under the statute here is that it's to talk with the attorney about advice as to how to proceed. Obviously, my advice this evening, as identified in the memo, is to approve the settlement that we've otherwise negotiated for the direction. And so certainly you could just say, hey, we're going to make a motion to approve that settlement based on that. But I think if you, to the extent that anybody wants to talk about it and do so in closed session with me to get my advice and input and insight, it certainly is, I think, a appropriate reason under the statute to do that. But again, at the end of the day, it's up to the council in terms of how they want.
so while they're contemplating that, Mr. Sadak, could you please state your name and business address for the record?
Sure. It's Brian Sadak. I am with the Stafford Rosenbaum Law Firm, 1200 North Mayfair Road in.
Excellent, thank you. So we have a
I'll
first,
second the motion.
we have a first and now a second to go into close. This will be a roll call, please.
Alderman Peccarelli.
Aye.
Alderwoman Eichman.
Aye.
Alderman Hassan.
Aye.
Alderwoman Day.
Aye.
Alderman Salus.
Aye.
Alderman Craig.
No.
5 ayes, no noes, motion carries. We're slowly going into closed session.
One no.
5 ayes, 1 no, we are slowly going into closed session. All right,
I only do the open.
you let me know. We are back in, Green Arrow Alpha, is that what you're saying? 8:54 PM, we are back on record under G15. Attorney Sadak, would you please state a proposed motion?
Sure. Proposed motion would be a motion to accept the $22,000 settlement proposal with direction to Stafford Rosenbaum to effectuate the settlement and dismissal of the lawsuit upon payment.
Motion to approve.
First, second, roll call, please.
Alderman Peccarelli.
Aye.
Alderwoman Eichman.
Aye.
Alderman Hassan.
Aye.
Alderwoman Day.
Aye.
Alderman Salus.
Aye.
Alderman Craig.
Aye. 5 ayes, no noes, motion carries.
6 ayes.
Excuse me. 6 ayes, no noes, motion carries. Thank you, council. We are now going to transition to H, as in Henry. Miscellaneous licenses, who's taking licenses tonight?
Yes, I'll do it.
All right, Alderwoman Eichman, you've got the floor.
Thank you. License Committee met this evening. The first operator listed was approved, however, we noted approved with a letter being sent. And then the third operator,
Lara,
Liza Lara with the Hideaway, we would like to hold for appearance. Otherwise, all of the other operators in temporary entertainment and amusement, name change, temporary Class B, and alcohol beverage license transfer are all approved. Thank you.
I'll second.
seconded by Alderwoman Day. Do roll call, please.
Alderman Craig.
Aye.
Alderman Salus.
Aye.
Alderwoman Day.
Aye.
Alderman Hassan.
Aye.
Alderwoman Eichman.
Aye.
Alderman Peccarelli.
Aye.
6 ayes, no noes, motion carries. I as in Ida, vouchers and payroll approval. There are 3 points, and this will also be a roll call. Motion approving the following. Number one, city vouchers with any date of January 15th, 2026, in the amount of $2,771,813.65. Point two, payroll dated January 9th, 2026, in the amount of $495,916.58, and payments of the various payroll deductions in the amount of $266,989.99, plus city matching payments. And point three, estimated payroll dated January 23rd, 2026, in the amount of $594,000, and payments of the various payroll deductions in the amount of $608,000, plus city matching payments.
Motion to approve.
Second.
First and a second. Roll call, please.
Alderman Peccarelli.
Aye.
Alderwoman Eichman.
Aye.
Alderman Assam.
Aye.
Alderwoman Day.
Aye.
Alderman Salus.
Aye.
Alderman Craig.
All right.
6 ayes, no nos, motion carries. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
First and second, all's in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.